So today's video, let me actually move my iPad. Today's video is gonna be called Deception for Profits. Okay, so the specific deception I'm going to be talking about is the main one that it's like your prophetic skills are gonna be tested. Anybody can get visions, dreams, anybody can prophesy, but when you have been ordained even before you came on this earth, this is one of the things you're going to be going through. So the enemy will try to overtake the prophet in order to destroy the manifestations of God's glory. It is a veil and a smoky mirror. This is very important. It is a veil and it is a smoky mirror. The enemy in these moments, and I'm going to explain a perfect example of this because God gave me a dream and it was such a perfect representation of what this would look like. The veil is the enemy preparing you. You know, we are a bride of Christ. So the enemy will create a smoky mirror in order to veil you. And that veil is not going to come upon you because you're choosing the devil per se. Like you're literally renouncing God and choosing the devil. That veil comes on you because you're not. The smoky mirror, hallelujah, causes a lack of clarity that causes you to not perceive, and you may yield to deception. And now the enemy got a veil on you, and now you're looking like a child who has a witch's costume on. And what I mean by that is you're wearing something that is out of place. So you're a happy person, you're wearing depression. You're a woman of God and you're wearing sadness. You're wearing all these different things that are not for you. So you look very much out of place, and it's obvious that there is a veil of darkness upon you. So God wanted me to explain this dream briefly, and I'm not going to go into too much details, but what I saw was a part of the dream was someone was driving and someone decided to take a different route, and there was a lot of cars following them, and this person was going really fast, and this was in a residential area. So obviously when you're going super fast and someone else is going fast behind you, there are cars collecting behind you. There was 3 cars that collected behind this person and was speeding. That is symbolic to a monitoring spirit. What happened was there was this wounded dog in the middle of the road, and this person slowed down in order to get this dog, right? Because they were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, which is symbolic to how you will still be in pursuit. The enemy will still be pursuing you, monitoring you, stalking you, chasing you, the list goes on. But even though you are in your warfare, you are still operating with the fruits of the Spirit. You still recognize when someone is hurt. You recognize when someone has been wounded on their journey. You recognize when someone is laid out and when someone's going through something, and you stop for them. But what I saw was those people did not crash into the person. Those people did not crash into the prophet. They overtook and they completely scattered the person that they were supposed to help. And the dog was symbolic to a person or a situation or a thing that they were supposed to help. So this dog was already wounded. The situation was already wounded. But what the enemy does is overtakes you. The monitoring spirits, the you know what I'm trying to say? Like the enemy, the camp of the enemy will come and will scatter whatever is before you in order to make it seem like the works of your hand is cursed. There's something wrong with you. So this is how come people are in right standing with God, but it seems like there's a certain type of person, every time they try to help them, it's like the enemy comes and scatters everything away, you know. And what I saw, I didn't see what happened to the dog, but I could tell that when 3 cars drive over a dog, you know, it was a German Shepherd. When 3 cars drive over a dog going 50 plus miles per hour, that dog is gone. You know what I mean? So now you're standing there and the dream ended there. But I already understood, because now you're in the back, you're pulled over, there's a dismembered dog by your car. So you see how you almost bear something that looks tainted. But what God revealed to me is that you cannot be in such a cinematic pursuit and that thing stay quiet. There's always going to be somebody who is on standby that watches. This is why a lot of times authorities are already called even before you get to call. This is why you're finding a solution to your problems even before you call out to God. Because there are people who are on standby that are watching these things happen. You see what I'm saying? So you're able to speak authentically and speak the truth. But what the enemy wants to do is cause you to be too stunned to speak. Grip you with the spirit of fear, so now you're running away and you don't have the opportunity to give another testimony. God was revealing to me one of the ways that the enemy diverts people's blessings and breakthrough, because goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. So it doesn't matter what is literally chasing you in the physical. Because God revealed to me, like, the reason I saw this dream this way is because it happens in the physical. So the way your issues are coming about is as if you've pulled over in this back alley and you have a dismembered dog, and it's like police start showing up. So if you're bewitched, you will start putting your hands up like, oh, I didn't do anything. Instead of operating with the fruits of the Spirit, with the revelation that whatever already was happening has already been exposed. There's always going to be somebody that sees those people pursuing you, overtaking you, and trying to destroy whatever you were supposed to rescue. So by you yielding to God, instead of taking the smoky mirror, instead of taking the veil, you see what I'm saying? Instead of yielding to the deception, yielding to the blurred lines, yielding to the chaos that happens randomly, you see what I'm saying? That brings forth a veil. You see what I'm saying? You ignore that and you listen to God. You follow what God is telling you to do. This is how you're able to be vindicated. The way God explained it to me is that someone would have already reported it somewhere, even if they just prayed about it. So now when this situation has to be addressed, when you speak, they already understand what happened. So they will see you a little bit differently. That door now opens up for you to reap what is due to you. And this is why it's a veil and it's a smoky mirror, because some people, they will not literally contend against your soul. They will try to stop the manifestation of God's glory. And the same way they try to destroy other people in the process is the same way they will also destroy your faith. They can destroy your reputation. The list goes on. This is a very important word, because I never have to cut my video 3 times. But the main point of this word that God wanted me to release was yield to God. A prophet's strength is hearing God's voice and understanding protocol, and that is where your vindication comes from. You will go through such a severe smear campaign that you will have no choice but to follow God. What the enemy meant for bad will be used for good. The enemy wants to veil you into deception. The enemy wants to cause smoky mirrors in your life. But when you yield to God, remember, a curse causeless will not hit its intended victim. There's a purpose behind the calamity and catastrophe that's happening. And I put before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life so that you may live. Even in the midst of the enemy proposing a curse in your life, a curse in your face, because seeing things like that happen is not a blessing. But you can still look for God in the midst of that thing, and you can still reap a blessing. And although it might not be fun and it might not be something that makes you happy, you're able to see the power and the presence of God. You're able to discern and understand the tactics of the enemy. You're able to get edified, and you're able to develop. You're able to grow, and you're able to just transition. You're able to develop and just mature in your faith. So no matter what the enemy tries to do to you, you'll be able to have that in your file, in your archive. You know that you understand what's really happening.